Hello, welcome to a video where we are going to take a look at the Ultra League in the Go Battle League. We have some battles here from Kizo76, who is playing Galvantula Double Ghost. I'm a big fan of Double Ghost. Especially a Pokemon like Kofagrigus is so flexible, except against Dark types, I guess. And this Kizo is using Galvantula to cover the Dark types. Now, Galvantula is a really fragile Pokemon, and it only does so-so. But the fact that it can debuff anything is really great. Let's take a look at some of these battles. Let's take a look. It's also in German, I believe. This is exactly where you need this, because especially Kofagrigus is destroyed by this. Like, the hardest loss you can ever imagine. And it looks like, oh, look at that. Very careful play, but still opting to throw that lunge here. I think it would have been better to save that energy, because the thing is, you need it for the Obstagoon. Otherwise, the Obstagoon can run through your line. On the other hand, I do like the fact that he debuffs here and then go in the Jellicent, because the Jellicent's energy is actually useful against the Obstagoon. While the Kofagrigus probably gets farmed down completely, even by counters, because Shadow Balls are triple resisted, Psychic double resisted. It's a horrible matchup for Kofagrigus. So yeah, now you at least have some Surfs to hit this Obstagoon with. Obstagoon can't farm down the Jellicent, because those Surfs actually add up. They do some decent neutral damage. Swapping out immediately, interesting. Doesn't want to give this Obstagoon too much farm. And lets that go. In the back is a Gengar. This is very fun. This Gengar has to throw a move. They do. At this point, you can just do it with fast move damage, really. Gengar is a pick you don't see a lot. I believe these are around 2400 elo. So we might see some 2500 elo. We might see some picks that you don't see in like the 3000 and stuff. Either way, this is also a decent lead. The thing is, your whole team kind of beats Cresselia. The Jellicent's probably the worst out of the three, but you need to bait out the Dark type that potentially is in the back. So I think at some point you kind of want to switch out with some energy here, maybe, just in case there is like that Obstagoon. But also looking to just win this matchup, that's also fine, I guess, as long as you keep the Galvantula. And it actually gets shielded, which is big. This is double debuff, but still opting to shield that Galvantula there. It's only a Grass Knot too. In the back is Seadra King. Cool. You should definitely throw Lunge here. Lunge, Discharge does only do so little more when both are neutral. But getting the debuff, especially on a Shadow Pokemon like this, is big. Calling the Octazooka here, or perhaps counting, not getting debuff, all really, really good stuff. Let's take a look. The Shadow Ball will take out the Shadow Kingdra, which is an interesting pick. I don't think the Cresselia will come in, right? Because it's bad. It's really bad against Kofagrigus. In comes Swampert. It's Cresselia double water. And this is fine because Jellicent has a pretty decent matchup against this. The Swampert would have to go all the way to an Earthquake against the Jellicent. With these Shadow Claws, with the Shadow Ball, you might even get this into like serve range. So this is very, very fine for the Swampert. For the Jellicent, I mean. At this point, I think you can basically shield anything. Just close up with the jelly, which is blue, by the way. That's kind of cool. I personally have a pink one, which was from when the pink ones were the only ones spawned in the wild, and the other ones were from GBL. So it was difficult to get a good blue IV, but I do like it, especially the shiny ones. Anyway, Shadow Ball, Spook Ball coming in, and it will take out Swampert. Next battle, Galv into Barricadax. This is, again, exactly where you need this. And you know what's annoying about this matchup for Galvantula? Galvantula always gets outpaced by everything that gets there into like 10 turns, right? Like Obstagoons, Swamperts are some of those. So Obstagoon can always throw a non-debuffed Nice Slash first, and shoot you shoot that, he might just get the double boost afterwards. Looks like this Obstagoon luckily is staying in, so it won't be a problem for the backline. And even getting completely farmed down here is just really big. Coming out with so much energy. In the back is Giratina, though. Giratina is a hard wall to Galvantula. Basically resists its entire moveset pool. Even Cross Poison, the other typing that Galvantula has. And Energy Ball, right? The Grass and the Poison typing, all resisted by this Giratina. And the opponent is staying in this matchup. It's the Giratina is debuffed. Doesn't have a Ghost charge move or fast move for that matter. And this will do very little damage because Jellicent's also not a wimp, right? Look at how little that does. You get to another Spook Ball here. And I believe that the Giratina should get to another Dragon Claw before it gets taken out. Actually, double shields that. But Giratina is not throwing a move here. Definitely over farming or miscounting perhaps. And in the back is a Charizard. And that's definitely game over because Galvantula takes the 1-2-0s easily here. Opponent staying in. I think Shadow Ball should do about 50% here. Sorry, Spook Ball, I mean. And that's an easy cleanup. Especially when the opponent is, not attacking. Bye. Go. Next battle. We see Galvantula into Machamp. And again, kind of same case as Obstagoon. However, a Crossroad doesn't do as much as the Nice as you think. However, Machamp is very attack weighted. This is somewhat favorable for, wow, actually no shooting the Discharge, opponent calling the lunge. But unlike in Great League, Discharge barely doesn't kill him. But yeah, like Machamp is just a little bit slower than Obstagoon to the charge move it needs to throw. So makes it a bit more bearable for the Galvantula there. In comes a Shadow Skuntank, and the serve actually really adds up. You definitely don't wanna throw an alignment really. Basically either 1 or 3 hex and then throw your charge move. Because if you throw on 4, they get another poison jab in, and that allows them to outpace here. Otherwise, they would not have. Not that it might matter though, because I don't think your serve will take it out from you. You might have to throw another one. Yeah. But actually, keeping all the energy and swapping into the Galvantula, you're down 2 shields, but you have 3 very healthy Pokemon. Trying to catch that move, unable. The opponent fails. However, this cross shop still adds up, though. This is resisted, but Machamp's so attack weighted, and Galvantula is so attack weighted, still adds up, but barely surviving, tapping the lunge immediately. I love that play. At this point, I think it's better to go into the Jellicent, because a Seed Bomb debuff might not kill. The opponent would have to throw a Shadow Ball, and at this point, China can just farm down, so that's kind of unfortunate. With the Jellicent, you may be able to pressure a little bit more because you have so much energy on that. But honestly, the timer's up. Throwing at very unpredictable timing, and this is actually also very fine. The opponent could have predicted that, didn't predict Kizo swapping because he went at very unpredictable timing. I like that a lot, so well played. Charizard leads, swapping into the Giratina, and this is actually a so-so matchup for Galvantula. Let's see how this plays out. As Giratina, you can basically shield anything. Oh my, it even gets the boost. You can shield anything here basically because Galvantula only can throw big charge move. But man, that Ancient Power boost is really dangerous. This allows the Giratina to have a way better matchup here. I think if the Giratina shields again, it gets the farm down as well. And even Jellicent will struggle after that. Luckily, the opponent does CMP every single time, so it won't come out with energy if it shields again. It does shield again. I'm not even sure if a Shadow Ball from the Jellicent will kill at this point, actually. Look at how much they add up. You shield this, it's only a Dragon Claw, probably. Yeah, Drachenklaue. And now finally rid of this Giratina that took out only all of your team. Luckily the Charizard doesn't have a lot of places to go here. Surf will do about 50% damage here. Taking the Dragon Claw before... Ooh, and then shielding that. Interesting. Let's see. Probably expecting that the Jellicent might be useful, or maybe reckons that the Galvantula in the back might not be very useful. Going for another serve before the next Dragon Claw, alright. Let's see what's in the back. It's a Cresselia, and Galvantula had a lot of play against this team. The opponent actually went into their one hard counter and then left their team kind of open against the Cresselia. That's obviously in hindsight. Opponent even throwing an alignment there, allowing a full Volt Switch come through. And this should be very manageable for Kizo. Don't really need to overfarm there, because if you throw a lunge, it debuffs the opponent right away. Psycho Cuts already do so little, but you might just want to make sure they do even less. That's only a Grass Knot that's resisted. I don't know why you would even throw that anyway. GG. Well played. Next battle. For Tanoyer. Galvantula Mirror. Let's see how he's going to play that. Generally, you kind of want to throw the... you want to be the first one to throw it, but also if you do that, it's very predictable. And losing CMP here really hurts. Then the first one goes. This one will definitely do the most damage. And now yours is debuffed before. Theirs wasn't debuffed. Yours is, so you're way lower health now as well. It's also a very easy catch for Kizo on on his Kofa. But what I also know about Kizo is that he doesn't really like to swap Kofa in. And I can understand. Just in case there is a dark type in the back, Kofa is useless against that. You don't want that. Opponent letting switch go. In comes a Armored Mewtwo. I love this pick. It used to be so good back in the days. Not so much anymore. Cresselia just really overtook it as the premier Psychic type. Really good timing. 1 Hex for 1 Confusion there. And going for the bait. I love baiting. Especially since the opponent is staying in. They might have something else this week. This time 2 Hex for 1 Confusion. For 2 Confusions. Not ideal, but, you know, it's passable, right? You give 2 turns away. If you do 1 Hex for 1 Confusion, you give 1 turn away. Let's see, going in with the Galvantula now. Opponent has double Psychic. Double Psychic. Interesting choice of Pokemon. Yeah, the opponent definitely couldn't didn't have anything to catch a lunch on, really. Kizo did, but it really wasn't necessary when you have 2 ghost types. Actually, a Future Sight Cresselia, which hits really hard with that stab nuke, but no problem for Galvantula. In comes the Mewtwo again. I think it was a little bit of an overtap, but it's fine. Barely survives at 1 HP to get that lunch off, and that will KO. I'll play. Next battle, we have Galvantula into Staraptor, a very, very spicy pick you don't ever see. Opponent staying in, maybe having a water type, trying to catch maybe, and they do catch on the Swampert. That's actually a big catch. Not baiting as well, so this is resisted. You can only do 2 Volt Switches. Yep, very good, very well played, because if you go for 3, the Swampert might throw the Hydro in your 3rd Volt Switch, which you don't want. Earthquake comes in, looks like Kizo is fine with taking that. Problem is, though, you can't really lose Switch here, simply because that Staraptor will otherwise run over your Galvantula. Luckily, opponent lets it go. That even KOs did more than I thought it would. And wow, farming up some more energy. The opponent could already have thrown a charge move, but it looks like they didn't want to yet. Surf does so much damage there. And now finally going for a charge move. You would definitely throw. I think Close Combat would definitely KO from there. Even double resisted. You want to shield this. Like, everything from this Pokemon hurts. Even this Close Combat would have done so much. And in the back is a Bubble Jellicent. Really good timing. Always 2 Volt Switch for 1 charge move from the Jellicent if possible. And not baiting as well. Trying to catch, but you can't swap during your Volt Switch animation. But yeah, this should very much be over. I like the play of not baiting there. Because what I noticed, especially in some of the like the mid elo is what I would call it. People love to call baits, like no shielding everything. They're just gonna be like, why is this person not baiting? And then they just die with 2 shields. Anyway, Charizard lead. You'd think this is really great, but it's somewhat. Oh my goodness. It's an iffy matchup for Galvantula still. Obviously, it's not bad, but, you know, a Blast Burn takes you out. This is where you need this so much. You might want to shield this even. Yeah, you want to shield this. Let's see. Oh, this is Dark Pulse as well. Very good timing from Kizo here. Going for the lunch. You need to take out this Umbreon right here. Opponent times well too, but that's fine. You just want to keep alignment here. Then have your Jellicent on that Charizard. And hopefully there's no double dark here. Throwing on the CMP. Galvantula obviously wins like every single CMP here. And actually pulling a shield as well. You can actually no shield. Yeah. No shield and farm this down with a ghost. I like that play a lot. I'm not sure if Jellicent can though. Yeah. Going with the Kofa. And gets that farm down. What comes back in? The Charizard. This Charizard is about to be in Shadow Ball range. I'm not sure if Shadow Ball KOs from here, but it will do a ton. And in the back is the Tapu Fini. Throwing the Psychic, probably going for a debuff. Doesn't do that much damage though. Maybe with the Shadow Ball, your Shadow Ball with the Jellicent will take out this Tapu here. Could have also tried to catch maybe. And that is the Moonblast. Very good shield. But there was an attack drop. This is actually annoying. Really annoying for Kizo. Go for an undercharge? That's all big undercharge. Holy. And then the Surf. Still fine though, as long as they don't get to the Moonblast. And now the Jellicent's very tanky here. Has 2 Surfs. As long as this Charizard doesn't get to a Blast Burn and a Dragon Claw, you should be very fine here. Yeah, next Surf comes in. And the next one. After that, shoot KO. Surfer. This is where I like Jellicent a lot. I think Jellicent's really good in the meta currently just because of all these Charizards, Swamperts, and Walreins. They are all over the place. We haven't seen a Walrein just yet, but it definitely is meta in Ultra League. In comes a Shadow Dragonite, which I think is one of the best leads currently. There's very few Alolan Ninetales from what I've seen. Going for a lunch bait here. Kizo hasn't like baited anything at all, but this time goes for it, and it does get called. This is not a great matchup for Galvantula, like, at all. Swapping in the Cofagrigus this time. This is the first time I've seen him safe switching the Cofagrigus. Opponent tries to catch a Shadow Ball, but... or maybe just wants to swap with a Dragon Claw. Either way, same result. The Registeel will eat that Shadow Ball. Actually shields that. And you should be able to barely outpace. I like this throwing it immediately. Because this is not debuff now. Right? If the Registeel threw their Zap Cannon immediately there. But, you know, since... Cofagrigus already was so much ahead of energy, it was able to throw it before for the Zap Cannon. Wow. I think that's CMP too. He actually went like 2 seconds over. It's 8 seconds, aka 8 Shadow Claws, equal to 8 Shadow Claws for Registeel to get to a Zap Cannon. Or, wow, 7.5 for Focus Blast. The opponent didn't accept that farm down, catches the Volt Switch on the Dragonite and faints with it. Interesting. But that was a bold one. That was really bold. And actually really optimal. Because Registeel definitely could have farmed down there. And then just come out with a move. Spook Ball coming in. I wouldn't even say this is a great matchup for Jellicent. I actually, from what I remember in Ultra League, I've played this a while ago. And I think Cresselia wins the once. Or zeros. I don't remember which one it was. At least with a slight energy advantage. At this point, they are at like even energy. And yeah, the opponent is just trying to call baits, but it's not helping. Going for the serve at this point, and this should very much be over, really. Yeah. Going with the Gelb, I like this a lot. You're basically just locking the opponent into needing to throw a move. And now, Registeel goes down by the hands of the Gelb. Well played. I like that a lot. So yeah, this was Galvantula Double Ghost. Thank you, Kizo, for submitting these battles. I think it's a pretty cool team. Might be a little bit tough to run against in the harder meta where you see a lot of like Trevenant, because Trevenant is one Pokemon the team struggles with a lot. Like Galvantula doesn't really answer it. Kofa doesn't really answer it that well. Jellicent doesn't answer it. I think that's the main struggle. But other than that, I mean, I'm always a Double Ghost fan, and Galvantula is a cool pick you don't see a lot too. I think a really good core raker. I usually use Ampharos myself lately, and it's so great against like Walrein, Charizard. So thank you for submitting these battles. Hope you liked the video, and